Chelsea Football Club may have lost the battle, but it would seem, maybe, just maybe, we have won the war. That is, with Arne Slot, the eminently underperforming managerial egg will reside at Anfield, and we have brought in the boy, Xabi Alonso, appointed Chelsea manager. What have I done? Should I do a Spanish accent? No, I reckon that will be offensive. I can just about get away with the French accent, parce que I am half French, but as soon as I go into other accents, could be problematic. Though I do like a Fabrizio Romano. Here we go! But that's like Mario, it's fine. Alright, mate. Yes. So in the miserable despair of losing the FA Cup final to just one superb goal, I have done a match reaction to that. Feel free to go and watch me be sad for a period of time. But onwards and upwards, this season has demonstrated it is a sack of excrement, if you excuse the word. We have regressed, we have made mistakes, we have underperformed, underwhelmed, and and overhired coaches. It's been bad. It's been rough. We almost certainly won't get any form of European football next season. But Chelsea bagging Xabi Alonso as the coach of Chelsea Football Club, 4-year deal. We'll get into Chelsea's statement and maybe have a little look at an article from The Athletic. And then in the future, we can develop content on how we could play and, what players could benefit and the systems and the tactics and all the sexy fun stuff like that. But those of you who watch the content or listen, of course, you can listen on podcast platforms by searching Football Therapy Podcast, and I will be grateful to those of you who do so. Give me a follow and 5-star on said podcast platforms. But those of you who've listened or watched me for a while now, I've been a big Xabi Alonso admirer. For me, he's the outstanding managerial candidate for any club. For any club in dare I say, European football. If I was a Man City fan, I'd be like, go get Xabi Alonso. Don't hire Enzo Maresca, who's almost certainly going to go there, our ex-manager. I mean, Real Madrid just hired him, and his failings at Real Madrid, I would argue, do not represent him at all. I think he was 1 point off top when they sacked him, and now they're 15 points off top or whatever. I think it's an absolutely exceptional appointment, and it's a start from the sporting hierarchy that's underwhelmed and just made incorrect decisions and really worrying decisions and plans to the point where Chelsea fans are in existential crisis. So, yeah, man, it is a step in the right direction. We're going to learn a little bit about it in today's video/content. But it is a huge victoire. I would like to shout out Cy Phillips' Substack that I was referencing some of his work a week or so ago, whatever it was, and he got it bang on. And some people were criticizing it in the comments, which I think was unfair because he gets a lot of stuff right. And here we are. And I will continue to cite sources like, Simon Phillips and indeed others on daily Chelsea news content. So keep it locked to Football Therapy. And should we just hop into this now? I think we should. Me. Right then, here it is. We might have to, there we go. Whoop, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Is that going to fit in? Scaling. Why is this not... Okay, there we go. Chelsea Football Club is delighted to announce the appointment of Xabi Alonso as manager of the men's team. The Spaniard will begin his role on the 1st of July 2026, having agreed a 4-year contract at Stamford Bridge. Not 6.5. Not 1 + 1 not 6.5 like Rosenia. Not 1 + 1 like Pochettino. A sweet 4-year deal, right? The sweet spot in between. Not too long, not too short. This porridge is just right, said Goldilocks. Who's Goldilocks in this scenario? Cucurella? Even though his hair's dark. He's got the locks. And he's also got the discontent with the managerial situation. Let's say it's Cucurella. One of the most respected figures in the modern game. Yep, absolutely true. They're really laying that on after what they've done recently. Alonso arrives at Chelsea having already experienced coaching at the highest level of European football with Royal Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen, of course, once nicknamed Neverkusen for never winning ever. But Xabi Alonso comes along and he led the German club to their first league title in their history. Boy, did he! Ruddy Invincibles. Incredible. Absolutely historic. Like, it's genuinely like a huge, historic achievement he achieved over at Leverkusen. His appointment reflects the club's... This is, is an unbeaten title in the graphic. Ooh, you can see it there. There he is holding the trophy. Unbeaten Invincibles. Take that, Asna. His... excuse me. I haven't been awake for too long. His appointment reflects the club's belief in a broad set of experiences. Okay, hold on. So clubs, should we put new belief in there? Because it's a new approach that we all appreciate, but it's not like you've been friggin' sitting on this like this for ages. His appointment reflects the club's belief, #new belief, in a broad set of experiences, coaching quality and game model, leadership attributes, character and integrity, which a lot of our players have been lacking of late, which were key to the decision to ask him help lead the next phase of Chelsea's journey. My word. Well done, Chelsea. Well done. You bagged Xabi Alonso. Like, how did you manage that? Can we need like a sobering reflection moment. Hold on, I'm going to pause the recording to clear my... I need to do some more vocal warm-ups. Yeah, mate. I mean, fair play, man. Like, it is... Maybe it's just me, because I was like, if you could go for any manager, you'd get Xabi Alonso. And we've been stinky beyond belief. Like, real bad. We have. We've sucked buttocks. We've been terrible, man. We've been awful. And we've somehow convinced Xabi Alonso to come and take over and manage. Like, I mean, we rightly hammer the Chelsea hierarchy and should continue to do so, because they come across as absolute knobbers, despite the relentless PR, like articles and actually in football they're really respected. you may well really like take the mick out of them, but in the game, everyone thinks they're quite cool. They're good guys. They've screwed so much stuff up. So to actually go and bag Alonso, like, I just need props. Yeah, listen, I'm looking at you, the 400 effing sporting directors. Keep doing good stuff like this, and you might get a bit of recognition. Alright? Should we continue? I just needed to interject and say, like, ruffle their hair, pat them on the back, pinch their cheek, and so go, off you go, you little scampers. There you go, run off around a cobblem, have a bit of fun. Right, let's keep going. And by the way, I don't care that he played for Liverpool. This is not Rafa Benitez. He didn't rub Chelsea up the wrong way. He's just, he also played for loads of top teams. He is regarded not only as an outstanding football coach, but as a proven leader and partner across a number of areas essential to the demands of driving the team. On his appointment, Xabi said, here come the quotes. Chelsea is one of the biggest clubs in the world, and it fills me with immense pride, screw Real Madrid, to become the manager of this great club. Here he is, having a lovely time. Xabi Alonso enjoyed an illustrious playing career, winning 17 trophies for club and country, including the 2010 World Cup, and a couple of Euros, I think flanked both sides. Many trophies, an incredible playing career. From my conversations with the ownership group and the sporting leadership, those guys, who put this in here? Tell them, mention how you had your conversations with us. We call ourselves the sporting leadership. It was clear we share the same ambition. We want to build a team capable of competing consistently at the highest level and fighting for trophies. There is a great talent in the squad and huge potential at this football club, and it will be my great honour to lead it. Now the focus is on hard work, building the right culture, there's that word again, on winning trophies, of which we seem allergic to. Now, we won a couple last season, but just constantly going to Wembley and getting slapped up. I mean, we didn't get slapped up, but losing is hurting my soul. Chelsea Football Club look forward with confidence to the next phase in collaboration with Xabi, united in determination to bring success to Stamford Bridge, a hallmark of the club's history and future. Darn tootin'. I freaking hope so, at least. Yeah, man. It is a coup. It is a coup, man. There's no bones about it. It's an absolute touch. I am a massive football fan. I'm a diehard Chelsea fan, but I'm a big football fan. I listen to all the football podcasts. I'm obsessed with the game. And like I said recently on pieces of content on Football Therapy, listening to certain people laugh off the idea that we'd even consider coming to Chelsea. Like Football Rambles, David Cartledge, I'll name him, great journalist, seemingly good guy. But he was like, no chance. He's Geordie, so I'm not going to butcher his accent, but he sort of laughed off like, no way. Like, they sort of like didn't even talk about it. They just fleed. They were like, what shit? Alonso to Chelsea. Let's not even talk about it. Let's laugh about it together, but not even delve into the conceptual potentiality. Is that a word? Potential. Conceptual potential sounds way too potentiality. Yep, nailed it. I know words. Potentiality is the inherent capacity, ability, or power to develop or achieve success come into existence. we need some of that at Chelsea. So, yes, all of you that laughed at us, I was going to say something very rude. You can go away. Right then, let's hop into the Athletic. Chelsea confirmed Xabi Alonso on a 4-year deal. Ooh. He will officially begin his role on July the 1st. There's some quotes here that we've just seen. We don't need to read that again. Chelsea, who lost the FA Cup final to Man City, are 9th in the Premier League. You can't bring me down with your facts and reality. I'm now riding the dopamine hit of a Galactico manager here to make Cole Palmer whole again. And are currently outside of qualification for European football. Yep. Alonso returns to the Premier League, having spent 5 years with Liverpool as a player, during which time he won the Champions League. Excuse me. The Spaniard guided Bayer Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title as part of an unbeaten domestic campaign. He also got the cup. I think he won the Pokal undefeated. And was undefeated all the way to the Europa League final, of course. He left the German club following the 24-25 campaign, subsequently joined Real Madrid, where he won 10 of his first 11 matches in charge. Yeah? Yeah, not bad, including El Clasico. However, his Madrid side fell 4 points behind the eventual winners. I thought they were 1 point behind when he got sacked, personally. Barcelona lost to them in the final of the Supercopa. Yeah, so they lost. That was the thing they got him sacked. I don't know if it was literally the Supercopa or if it was just all the friggin' drama. Vinny refused to sign a deal while he was there. None of them wanted to actually do tactics and run around for him. Certainly not the Galacticos up top. Chelsea players will do. If you're any Premier League team, top to bottom, literally 1 to 20, you got to run around, listen to tactics. It doesn't matter if you're Guardiola's Man City. Doesn't matter if you're Wolves. You listen to the gaffer. You work hard. And this is an opportunity for Alonso to experience that as a coach in the Prem. Yeah. However, his Madrid side, Chelsea parted company with Rosinia the April 23rd. How little did we know ye? After less than 4 months in charge, he was appointed. Disappointed. He did disappoint, but he was also appointed as Maresca's successor following his dismissal on New Year's Day. And of course, McFarlane's been interim coach in both in-betweens, as it were. Alright, let's read a little bit about this. A shift of power at Chelsea. This is interesting. It's because we really were hoping he would have had to have been convinced, man. There's no way that he would have had to be sat down and they would have had to say, right, you're Xabi Alonso, you're the hottest, managerial asset on the market. We are in desperate need of change. We are willing to bend our structure for you. Yeah. For Chelsea to have finalised this appointment well in advance of the chaos of the summer transfer window and World Cup is a huge relief, and the man they have chosen for the job on paper ticks every box. Alonso's achievements at Leverkusen demonstrate his ability to pull together a winning side, while his stature as a player should help command the authority that Liam Rosenior seemed to lack. The way Alonso had set up sides in the park, he has shown a willingness to adapt the exact plan to fit the players' characteristics, broadly fits the personnel Chelsea have. Yeah, I do think stylistically and tactically is a good fit. And having clarity about who they will be playing for ought to speed up moves for any additions needed. The biggest question mark over Alonso arises from his short tenure at Real Madrid, where the internal politics proved too much for him. Chelsea will hope that proves to be a reflection of the Bernabeu dressing room. I would tend to agree, gang. Arguably the most widely unwieldy in football, which I would agree as well, rather than the man they have tasked with revitalising their expensive, talented, and at times chaotic team. The more significant point, though, is that Alonso has been appointed as the manager rather than the head coach. They've given him the keys. He's given, like, Mikel Arteta Guardiola status. You are the manager. Yeah? Rather than the head coach, signifying a wider remit than purely tactical. They have ripped up the model. The structure of Chelsea head coaches have been asked to operate in under Bluecoat has been a source of tension, particularly with Pochettino, and some have suggested the head coach candidates would balk at the perceived lack of control. For Alonso, it would take the mantle of a manager. There would be a shift in power for the man in the dugout. How Chelsea's leadership adapts will be fascinating to see. Ooh, will he be a good fit? Well, this next segment is Simon Johnson, still on The Athletic. During his time at Bayer Leverkusen, Alonso set up his team to play a very entertaining, underline that, brand of football in a 3-4-2-1 formation, a system that certainly suits the players in Chelsea's squad. Sorry, Garnacho, you're out of there. We're going to get inside forwards like Stevao, Cole Palmer, probably Enzo Fernandez will stay now, box crashers, playmakers, half spacers, dem man. They've been accustomed to playing with a back three in possession under Maresca and Rosinia for the past 2 seasons. Crucially, Alonso improved players, and I think I've read this bit before, Florian Wirtz, and of course, he's a similar player to Cole Palmer, and we are all hoping, praying, and manifesting together that he does the same with Cole Palmer. That could be put partly down to injury and fatigue. Cole Palmer's last underwhelming 18 months. Yet there's always been a suspicion that he preferred a more attacking style. Wowzers. In my trousers. Chelsea have friggin' done it. They've appointed Xabi Alonso. What an absolute touch. I am excited. He's a young gaffer. He's not just wedded to the back three. In theory, he does that. You know, what's they say, like a tailor suit to the players. But I'll get back onto this in different content. But I still think there's like a philosophical question of, does the back three system win you a Premier League? It hasn't in the last sort of decade. That's my opinion. That's what the landscape has dictated. But times, they are a-changing, as a man once sung, because Arsenal are winning the league by stinking the gaff out. Guardiola is probably going to leave, and Maresca's not going to be as good as him. The middle class is a lot better. You've got to just sort of, it's not 4-3-3 Cruyffian total football to get these like 98 points to win titles in these Liverpool, like Klopp, Arteta, Guardiola eras. I think it's changing. I think you can win a title with maybe this back three Alonso system. Maybe in like mid-80s, do you know what I mean? Anyway, if we can talk about mid-80s points, we're in dreamland. We ain't got anywhere near that for absolute donkeys, mate. So I'm delighted, man. Like, we were always favourites to lose that FA Cup final. In fact, most neutrals would have thought 2 to 3 goal margin looking at Chelsea. Even a draw at Anfield looked worse after watching Liverpool lose 4-1 or 2, whatever they did to Villa the other day. So we've been in stinky form. We turned up. We sort of didn't shame ourselves, but So there was disappointment, but the dopamine hit is there for this new gaffer who, like I said, is the best we could have got. And that's not it's the best anyone could have got looking for a new manager. And he's come to Chelsea. How did we do that? Anyway, I'm delighted. For weeks I've been saying if we could get anyone as this guy, we won't be able to get him. But if there's anyone we could get this guy, he's going to go to Liverpool. But if there's anyone, imagine we got Xabi Alonso. Felipe Luis might be interesting. Cesc Fabregas would be a dopamine hit, though probably too premature in his managerial career. I mean, the dream, obviously, is Xabi Alonso, but we can't get Xabi Alonso. So what are we going to do? Fair ruddy play. They bagged him. And I'm delighted with this. I genuinely am. I'm really, really excited. I can't wait to see what he does or hear him speak. Obviously, he's got a very fluent command of the English language, the Spaniard, for playing here for years. And I'm just absolutely delighted. I think all the Spanish players will be really excited. The ones that sort of got the arse when, Maresca was sacked. I think he will get everyone on side. I think even Cole Palmer, who didn't really like Maresca that much towards the end, I heard, will be... Oh yeah, well this guy's good. Look what he did with Wirtz. He can get me firing again, playing the same positions. I'm very, very excited. Let me know what you think, though. Please do leave your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down in the comment section on YouTube. I'll thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube. Dropping those hype points down here if you've got any. Just swipe over the comments. Very happy for that. And if you want to continue supporting, follow Football Therapy Clips on Instagram and TikTok. I'm on the TikTok. I'm a pretty cool millennial. And Football Therapy podcasts on your preferred podcast platforms. If you could mosey on down to one of those, follow and 5-star me, that'd be very kind of you, and I appreciate your continued support. And I will bring you back daily content regarding Chelsea's journey under their new managerial manager. And we'll get through it together. Right, see you soon, take care of yourselves, peace out.